yato vacho nivartante apraapya manasa saha anandam brahmano vidvan na bibheti kutascha neti etagum havavana tapati kimaham sadhuna karavam kimaham papamakaravamiti. This same mantra, as I said, is repeated twice. The first time it occurs, there's only one change. Na bibheti kadachaneti. First time. What's this the second time? Na bibheti kutaschaneti. One word, but a very, very big difference. Kadachana, there is a suffix called chana, and this chana means it is a time suffix. So kadachana, at any time. Kutaschana, kutaschana means from anywhere, from any angle whatsoever, not just from the standpoint of time. Not just time, from every which way you look at it. Na bibheti vidvan. The person who understands this is freed of fear. That is there in both the iterations of this mantra, very interesting. But in the first instance, there is some echo, Sahadev, some kind of a, I feel like I'm doing karaoke. So, yeah, now it is gone. Very nice. Thank you. So, the kadachana means at any time. At na, when the na is there, not at any time. At no time. Why? There's no time, the person is subject to fear. Fear goes away. Fear can go away for two reasons. Fear can go away because there is somebody there, or you think there is somebody there protecting you. The child doesn't want to go to bed. Why? Because of course there are monsters under the bed. Definitely. And then the parent says, the mother, the father, they go and show under the bed, say, no, there are no monsters. Still the child is not convinced. Then they have to say, I have driven away the monsters. And I'll sit with you till you fall asleep. I will be right here. And then what? Then the child relaxes and is not afraid. Because even if the monsters come, daddy is here, mummy is here. So no need to worry about that. So this is how the child is not afraid. So too the jiva, who is childlike, childish, is looking for protection, and in the discovery of Ishvara and in the inviting of Ishvara into one's life by acknowledging the presence of Ishvara everywhere at all times, one feels happily protected. You both need to wear masks. Yeah, mask. So, the child feels happily protected. And therefore, there is no fear. And same way, just like the example, the adult here, the one who is dedicated to Bhagavan, feels very happy and feels free of fear because there is a protection. But as I mentioned before, this is not Advaita. Why? Why is it not Advaita? There is the protector, one entity, and the protected who is different from the protector, entity number two, there is duality. So therefore, there is some more growing to do, some more places to, some more vantage points to reach. Because this is still duality. Even though it sounds wonderful, and I don't want to do any more growing, I'm fine, I'm under the umbrella of Ishvara, what more do I need to do? This is fine, this is okay, let me just bask under this protection. No, there is something more. Why? Because there is the fear is not there, because the protection is there, and because there is a sense of surrender. But what if the protection is taken away, or what if one believes the protection will be taken away? That, that thing is always there. And so therefore, the first iteration of the mantra is called Abhaya. This Abhaya is there. Why? Because Bhaya is not there. Bhaya Abhavat Abhayaha. Abhayaha, fearlessness. Why? Bhaya Abhavat. Because there is no fear, because there is protection. And since the protection is there, then there is no fear. But then there is still two entities. What are they? Me and Ishvara. Two entities. This is Advaita Hani. Because there is Hani means loss of non-duality. There is no non-duality here. Therefore, there is still room to grow bigger than this so-called divide, to see beyond that, to progress spiritually much further. That is why the mantra is repeated a second time. Anandam brahmano vidvan na bibheti kutaschaneti. Kutaschana means from any source, including Ishvara. No source of fear is there. And what are the sources of fear? Anything other than me is a source of fear. Udaram antaram kurute. Same Upanishad. Adhatasya bhayam bhavati. Udaram antaram kurute. Even if the slightest difference between myself and another, including Ishvara, is made, bhayam bhavati. So yes, I am in the umbrella of Ishvara, and I am lulled into, I am having a good time because I am being parented by Ishvara, I am being held by Ishvara, I am being protected by Bhagavan. All my bhakti has paid off. And then what? Then the thought comes, is Ishvara pleased with me or not? That thought itself is enough. Will Ishvara be afraid of me? Or will I be afraid of Ishvara tomorrow? Like this. And this is illustrated very well in the 11th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, where Arjuna wants what is called Vishvarupa Darshana. The myriad manifestations of the Lord I want to see. I want to see Yugapat simultaneously right now. I want to see all of them right now. I want to see you. Bhagavan says, are you sure? Yes, I want to see you fully. And Arjuna thinks that this is going to be a big show. Like going to the movies. He makes popcorn to take along. He thinks he's going to have some popcorn and enjoy the show of Bhagavan showing his various sides. Then what happens? What happens? He himself gets frightened. The popcorn falls off. First it shakes because his knees are knocking. Then it just falls off, spills down. Who can think of popcorn when one is afraid for one's life? And the whole show is ruined. Why is it ruined? Precisely because he separates himself from the show. He thinks, I'm just going to sit here and look at Ishvara doing the whole thing, unfolding himself. And all the baddies, who are they? Dushasana, Duryodhana. Actually, he must have been named Suyodhana, but he acted badly, so the prefix Dushasana literally means badly taught, badly behaved. They gained all these names after they grew up. Then this is how it is. He thought, I'll just see Bhagavan Krishna punish all of them and I'll feel good. But that was not what he expected, was not that at all. What he got was not what he expected. He saw a fierce, absolutely disgusting manifestation of Bhagavan, frightening to the core. All teeth, like that of an alligator, I suppose. And all these fellows, Duryodhana, Dushasana, and all the villains of the Mahabharata, being hoovered up by this fiery mouth of the Lord, vacuumed up. And then they get stuck between the teeth. I'm not making it up. Read the 11th chapter. Some things I do make up. But when I do, it's very obvious, okay? So they are hanging between the teeth for dear life. Because they think if they hold on to the teeth, then they will not be consumed by the vacuum, which is the mouth of the Lord. It looks like Lord Krishna has not flossed. This is what it looks like, with all the villains in between the teeth. And then Arjuna is scared, frightened. Oh my God, look at all the things I have done. In fact, when Duryodhana was small, I played with him. And we both did bad things together. When is my karma phala coming? OMG. And then I didn't know Krishna was Bhagavan. I thought he was Uncle Krishna. I treated him very, very informally. Oh dear, maybe there were a lot of omissions and commissions. See, the guilt and the hurt are coming. The guilt is coming out very strongly. Oh, kimaham sadhuna karavam already. But with a little, what is that? Quiver in his voice. Kimaham sadhuna karavam. This is how he is thinking. What did I do? Oh, because I'm seeing the whole world get its dues, the karma phalas, all the results of action they are getting. How am I different from them? I too am subject to this. OMG, what to do now? He goes mad. And he does so many namaskaras in chapter 11. Nobody has done so many namaskaras. He circumambulates the Lord and he says, oh, you know that day I stole a chewing gum from you. So now you can see this is obviously made up, right? Yeah. Why? Why is this made up? Because Arjuna is not a thief. No, because there was no chewing gum at that time, okay? Yeah. Anyway, so I stole chewing gum from you. And then on that time, while eating, I took off some things from your plate without even asking. And then you came looking for butter. I had a whole pot of it. But I hid the butter and said, no butter here. Go to the next house. Two things. I didn't give you the butter, and then I wasn't honest to say, sorry, I have butter, but you can't have it. I lied. And if these fellows are getting their karma phala, then I'm not far behind. So then he thinks of all these incidents, lists all these incidents one by one by one by one. He's racked with guilt. He's just an incarnation of guilt. And to overcome the guilt, he does namaskara. So now you know what to do when you have guilt. Do namaskara to Bhagavan. This is very nice. Because then it becomes, what is that called? Prayashchitta karma. A karma, an action of atonement. And that's important. In this action of atonement, there is freedom from guilt immediately, because I feel like I have done some karma to counteract the previous karma which has made me a ball of regret. This is very, very nice. It's doing something proactively. So Arjuna does a little mini prayashchitta right in the middle of chapter 11. He perambulates, circumambulates the Lord 5-6 times, does so many namaskaras. For each omission and commission on my part, namaskara. I should have done this, I did not do this, namaha. I did do this, but I should not have done this, namaha. And then that's why the 11th chapter, even though people think it's a very, very sacred chapter, and Bhagavan showed himself. You know what? Bhagavan has been showing himself from chapter 2. You don't have to wait till chapter 12 to see Bhagavan. Chapter 11, to see Bhagavan. Bhagavan has been showing himself. So when Vedanta teachers teach chapter 11, it goes away with, it's like a non-event. It's just like one more chapter, which ends up in Arjuna's fright. And Arjuna's fear is because of this separation from himself and Bhagavan, where he's looking up to Bhagavan for some absolution for his omissions and commissions, where he's looking up to Bhagavan for protection, for the fulfillment of desires, all these things. That is why there are 6 more chapters to go before he understands what this all is about, what this Vedanta is about. And then, the Bhagavad Gita comes to a close. Nashto mohaha, he says, my delusion is destroyed. Smritir labdha. I have recalled what I am here for, my purpose. Karishye vachanam tava. I'm going to do what you say because I agree with it. I see what you see, and I'm going to go with your words. But then, after the Bhagavad Gita is over, it is said that after the war, Arjuna said to Krishna, Lord Krishna, you know what? You taught something called Bhagavad Gita in the battlefield. And I recall it had 18 chapters. But in the din of the war and in the cacophony of the battle, I don't quite remember what you said. Can you teach me this all over again? And then the whole teaching is there again in another text called Uttara Gita in the Ramayana. Because it is Lord Krishna, he doesn't pull out his hair in clumps after being asked the question, can you do this all over again? So like this, there is some way in which this is not enough. This chhatra means this protection, is fine. It's an interim position. Because Bhagavan herself can become the cause of fear. That is what happens. You're frightened of Bhagavan means what is the use? What is the use of Vedanta? What is the use of anything? So going beyond that is very, very, very crucial to understanding this vision. But at the same time, this step cannot be bypassed. And today we will see why it cannot be bypassed, some very important reasons why it cannot be bypassed. Because this step of recognizing the universal laws as existent, A, as non-separate from the Creator, B, and then as having a relationship of no power in connection to Bhagavan, who is all power, and having a relationship which is really that of the hapless, hopeless, helpless jiva, who is relating to the all-powerful Lord, is a very important interim step. Precisely because the best gift it gives is it opens the eyes and removes the cataract of subjectivity. I know I keep talking about subjectivity. What is this subjectivity? Subjectivity is the, what is that called? Is the veil, avarna. That is what it is. Maya Shakti has the Shakti of Maya has two components, two kinds of powers. Avarna. The veil is thick. And what is this veil? Ātma-avidyā. That is the avarna. But that veil causes projections, causes one to veil in life. And so that projection is also there, which is called vikshepa. This is on the individual level. Maya on the individual level causes avarna and vikshepa both. Avarna, the covering, where the truth of myself as non-separate from Ishvara is denied to me. I can't see it even if it is staring at me in the face. And therefore, I project all kinds of subjective fears and tears onto the whole universe, onto Bhagavan, onto this body-mind-sense complex. This is what is the subjectivity. And that's why in the Shastra, in Vedanta Shastra, we talk about three orders of reality. One is called Paramarthika, the absolute, where everything is consciousness. You are awareness, everything is awareness, everything is non-separate from you. The whole Jagat is but an extension of you. In you the Jagat rises when you awaken. In you the Jagat sets when you go to sleep. Mayyeva sarvamidam jatam. Everything is born in me. Everything grows in me. Everything resolves in me. And who is this me? Satchidananda Atma. We'll see what that Satchidananda Atma is. Everything is me. This is called Paramarthika Satta. Sat means existence. Satta, same thing, existence. Paramarthika Satta, absolute. But then one has a pair of hands up to some mischief. One has legs that are wanting to go here, go there. One has a mind that has already gone. Even before the legs can reach there, the mind has reached there. What for all these accoutrements? And then I'm dropped here in this Jagat, on this earth, along with so many people. And I'm supposed to transact business with them. How to do that? Most of the time I spend avoiding most of them, but some of them I cannot avoid because they are part of the family. They are coming for the holidays, so I have to entertain. I have to look at them. I have to accommodate them. And so this becomes a very difficult proposition. Where did the Paramarthika go? It went bye-bye because it went out the window. It seems as though this transactional reality, Vyavaharika Satta, or also called empirical reality, has nothing to do with the absolute. The absolute is exactly that. It is absolutely wonderful and it belongs in the books. Upanishad books, it is safe there, this vision. It's nice to come and air out the Upanishad once a year for the Christmas camp, year-end camp, and then listen to this and then go back. That is not the purpose of this vision at all. The Vyavaharika, the empirical reality, is a thorn on the side precisely because it is not understood. It is not understood at all. First thing is, why am I here? What am I doing? Why should I go through all these lifetimes? Why should I go to kindergarten? A for apple, B for bat, C for cat, D for dog. Why should I study Vedanta life after life after life? Because I didn't get it. There also A, B, C, A for Atma, B for Brahman, C for Chit, D for Dharma. The same thing. Why do you have to do this? What is the purpose of this? And here is what I am studying. I am studying that I am Paramatma, I am Ishvara, I am non-separate from the whole. I am studying all these things. How do I live like that in the day-to-day? That is easier said than done. How to live like that? Where should I go? How should I understand this? And the moment I make a sankalpa, okay, I am going to live like Brahman. Let's make a list of all the things Brahman does not do. Brahman does not lose its temper. Okay, I am also going to live just like Brahman. As soon as you say that, there is a situation where you definitely lose it. Definitely lose it. Even though you have made a sankalpa. Then you have to deal with the fallout in two ways. First, you have to deal with the fact that you have offended somebody by your outburst and you have to make nice over there. And then you have to deal with your own guilt. Kimaham sadhu na karavam. You have to deal with your own guilt. So this Vyavaharika Satta, this transactional reality appears to be a total waste of time and a totally unfair setup. Where I am, let loose in this crazy jagat to transact business and to do things and go places. And I have all the sense organs, but yet I am supposed to stay away from the sense objects. I have hands and legs, but yet I am supposed to discover what? I am akarta. Akarta means I am not a doer. Seems like a paradox. Seems like a total paradox, and its time is the best of individuals. This empirical reality. Empirical reality, if you don't relate to that word, this everyday reality. The everyday reality appears to be completely disconnected from the absolute reality. The question is why? And the main reason for it is the third order of reality. And what is that reality? Pratibhasika Satta. In fact, when you say Pratibhasika Satta, the word Satta, existence itself is like a iffy. Pratibhasika means a subjective reality, whose ingredients are memory and desire. ragadvesha, called desire, desire for short. And then memories. What kind of memories? Pleasant memories and painful memories, both. In the Shastra, we have twofold this thing. Examples, stock examples. Things that are painful, that cause one to run away. Nivritti. Nivritti-based objects which cause me to stay far away from them. Like what? Snake, all these creepy crawlies, etc. Then the second kind of pursuits are pravritti-based pursuits. Pravritti means I run towards them. This is how the whole life goes. Half of the time I am busy keeping at bay things I do not want in my life. Starting with wrinkles, grey hairs, and then what else? Weight. I don't want all these things. Half the time there is the battle. Then of course, by extension, people who tick me off, I don't want in my life. People who bring me down, I don't want in my life. Objects that give me PTSD, I don't want in my life. Then there are certain other things that I want very badly and I keep wanting to go towards them. So you run away from things like people and creepy crawlies and other objects, and you run towards things that you want. Pravritti-based pursuits. This is what subjectivity causes one to do. And subjectivity, of course, the cause of subjectivity ultimately is ātma-avidyā, self-ignorance. But the immediate cause of subjectivity, the local cause, memory and desire. These are the two causes. Certain painful things are there of the past which were forgotten because one had to grow up. Father, inconsistent. Mother should have been renamed Smother, An S should have been put in front of the word mother. Did not even let me alone even for a minute. Did not let me discover myself. All these things. Father, not available. Or available but irritable. So many things. The child grows up. The child grows up despite the primary caregivers becoming primary scaregivers. Despite that, the child somehow grows up because it suppresses those memories. That is the only way to grow up. It suppresses those memories and grows up somehow. And then as an adult, it has to deal with those memories, keeping all the therapists employed. That is what it is. It has to grow up. It has to deal with those memories because those memories come knocking. Because now the brain has developed, one can deal with them. One can deal with these memories. One is equipped to deal with them. This is what, the ancients understood this very, very well. Sakashayam vijaniyat. This is the grand guru of Adi Shankara talking in the Mandukya Karika, in the Karika of the Mandukya Upanishad. Sakashayam vijaniyat. Know that the mind comes along with this unconscious, which is full of memory and desires. Samaprapta na vichalayet. Na svadayet rasam tatra nissango prajnaya bhavet. Layet sambodhayet chittam, laye sambodhayet chittam, vikshiptam cha shamayet punaha sakashayam vijaniyat samapraptva na vichalayet. This is instructions on meditation. When you sit with yourself, Gaudapadacharya, the grand guru of Adi Shankara, says the following. Says that there is avoidance in meditation. When you sit down to meditate, the last thing you want to do is meditate. And so the mind protests in two ways. Very clever the mind is. It promptly falls asleep. Gone. And you don't even know that sleep is coming. That is the beauty of sleep, that you don't know when it is coming. That's why you cannot put the time, you cannot, supposing somebody asked you, what time did you fall asleep? You can say, oh, the last time I saw the clock was at 11 p.m. That's all you can say. But did you fall asleep at 11:01 or 11:35 or no one knows. Sleep sneaks up on you. This is called laya. A polite way of saying sleep is laya. Laya means it is a dissolution of the mind. There is no, the mind is in a causal form. There is no awareness of the body, etc. In that state, there is oneness with Ishvara, really. So when you meditate, when you sit down to meditate, Gaudapadacharya knows there are two ways things can go wrong. The first impediment to meditation, he says, is sleep. Laya comes. So when laya comes, when sleep comes, the instruction is wake yourself up. Keep a little water, bowl of water, and splash yourself right there. Wake yourself up. Sambodhaye chittam. Wake up. Wake up the mind. So this is one obstacle. And then the other one is what? The other one is called vikshepa. Means, here also the mind goes bye-bye. But how does it go bye-bye? It has gone off to some era in your life which was very, very pleasant, and you would like to reminisce on that particular vacation in this particular year where you went to the seashore and had a good time. And what are you trying to do? Meditate. Not even 1 minute of contemplation has passed. Already the mind has traveled and is on holiday. It is regurgitating the holiday you took before the pandemic, when life was so wonderful. All these things you are remembering. This is called vikshepa. Laye sambodhayet. Call the mind back when it goes to sleep. Vikshiptam shamayet punaha. Vikshiptam means when it is disturbed, when the mind is disturbed. Here I gave a pleasant example, or some unpleasant examples also we can think about. Some bad memories from the past, etc. Even the Buddha talks about this. He embodied these kinds of thoughts in a conceptual demoness called Mara. He would say in his talks, Mara has come to visit. Just like that. Same thing, similar thing here. So difficult thoughts and those difficult memories, shake them away like a puppy coming out of water. You give the puppy a bath and it comes out of the water, and then it shakes off that water. You also shake it off and come back to a place of equilibrium. Shamayet punaha. Bring it back. Be here. Same thing to do in Vedanta class also, okay? Naye sambodhayet chittam vikshiptam shamcha shamayet punaha. And then of course one can start feeling guilty. Oh, why is this happening to me? What's wrong? Sakashayam vijaniyat. Please know that this is a setup that every mind will have along with it the unconscious. It is a setup. It cannot be otherwise. This is how it is because it cannot be any other way. So why are we talking about meditation? Because his observations, his astute observations are there as wonderful tips even when one is not meditating. To live in the reality, to come out of this subjective reality, these are wonderful tips. Sleep sometimes is a passive form of resistance. That's why sleep comes. Except at night when you're supposed to recharge and just take some rest, but at other times, in a meeting, in Vedanta class, sometimes it could be because one is tired, and oftentimes it is because there is some resistance somewhere. Or there is some relaxation, and one doesn't know how to relax, so one promptly falls asleep. So these are the two ways in which the unconscious mind troubles one in the everyday life. This is how one is troubled by the unconscious mind, and the unconscious mind comes in the way of everyday functioning. There is this God-given universe, and on top of that universe, I relate to that universe. How? With my own colored glasses. Sometimes everything is pink and wonderful. Nice. It's purple and pink and lovely. Sometimes it is just dull grey. Sometimes it's an angry red. Or an insipid something. This has to do with my own memories, my own desires, my own pains, my own sorrows. This is the satta, the realm of the so-called subjective reality about which you can actually do something. You cannot alter the empirical reality because it is Ishvara Srishti, but Pratibhasika Satta is Jiva Srishti, one's own making. And it doesn't matter. You can say, one can argue there are so many people in the universe and each one has some complexes and all those complexes are projected on the universe. How to keep track? How to talk about this? We don't have to keep track because they all go down the two or three pathways. Very easy to predict. They all end up in nobody loves me. A strong belief. Why me? Another belief. What's wrong with me? One more belief. And then, just like that, I'm doing all things wrong, I can never do anything right. Or, I am right and the other person is always wrong. Both are there. All these things. This is why this particular order of reality, we can kiss it goodbye. And that is what is emotional maturity and spiritual growth. And reducing and eliminating the pratibhasika is basically the prerequisite for Vedanta Shastra. Definitely. No other way. But then how to do it? It's already there. Sakashayam vijaniyat. Every mind has come with it. So my mind also has come with it. Everybody has a background. I also have a background. and the background is not perfect, you can say that. So how do I overcome this? The overcoming is just a walking back to that place of loving trust that you see in a small child which has not been abused, hurt, or neglected. You see a small child, it has been cared for. It's happy. It smiles, and then when it smiles at you, you forget everything. You also smile. You are drawn into its world of innocence. It's very trusting. Unless it has been harmed or it has reasons not to trust, it's very trusting. And that is, that was everybody. That was everybody. Before the hurts and the pains started, this was one's nature. And the Brahma Sutra says that the Vidwan, the person of self-knowledge, is childlike. Not childish, childlike. Free, carefree, without any kind of suspicion. And of course, the Brahma Sutra is very analytical. And so, there are objectors. I object. How can you object to this? Yeah, so that means you are saying that the jnani has to be in diapers because the child is in diapers. The child has no control. That's not what the Shastra is saying. That's not what the Brahma Sutra is saying. It's not childish, it's childlike. Childlike means spontaneous. Childlike means able to accommodate different things in life. The ability to be pleasantly surprised. The ability to be flexible and try something new because it is there. The ability to not be jaded all the time. The ability to be excited, to be in the moment. All these are qualities of small children and also of jnanis. In between there is a problem. That's all. So we have to get back to that place. How to get back to that place? Regain the trust that was lost in childhood. As a child, the child is very trusting. But a time comes where the trust keeps dropping. The mother drops the child down a staircase. And of course the child stops trusting the mother. Somewhere there is a breach of trust. Sometimes the parents say one thing and do something else. You must always tell the truth. They say. And there is a doorbell that rings. Go see who it is and tell them I'm not at home. Very common in India. And what will the child do? Child will do just that. Because the child is not taught to lie. All that comes later. The child will say, the father who is hiding in the bedroom told me to tell you that he is not at home. Very sweetly it will tell that. And then get scolded and get very confused. I'm not supposed to tell lies, but here you are also telling a lie and you're asking me, you're not at home, but you're telling me to say you're not at home when you are in the home, and then you're telling me to lie, even though you're telling me to tell the truth. But there is a confusion, and in that confusion the child can see that okay, this is inconsistent behavior. The people who I thought were perfect are not perfect at all. The child understands this slowly. And It wants to now protect itself because it no longer can rely on the parents as protectors. Yes, the parents continue to be protectors in a way, but it cannot rely on them. So it just says, okay, I'm on my own here. And the jaded, faded jiva is born. Becomes a ninja, offensive and defensive. The whole life becomes one of just dispelling everybody with cudgels, protecting myself. What about me? I'm all alone. I'm out on the road. I have to get what I want. I have to keep at bay. I have to ward off what I don't want. This is my lot. Nobody is going to help me. It's a dog-eat-dog world. And the parents also encourage this. Yes. Each one for their own. Each one is on their own. And you better protect your interests. You better do this, you better do that. Growing up itself in an atmosphere of fear and scarcity. Fear, scarcity, all these things. And then we grow up into adults. One grows up as an adult, totally in the grips of fear and sorrow. This is this pratibhasika reality, so to speak. This has to be overcome. Because there is really no Shraddha. Shraddha has to be regained. Shraddha means trust. Shraddha has to be regained. How? Well, the Samaveda has a very interesting approach to regaining Shraddha. The Samaveda says, make a bridge of Shraddha and cross Ashraddha through that. Cross your non-trust by building a bridge of trust. What is the bridge of trust? By daring to trust again. That is how you cross distrust, by daring to trust again. Setum stara. This is the chant. Setum stara dustaran dustaran. This is how you cross over. Dustaran setum stara. Cross the bridge that is extremely difficult to cross. How. Yeah, it's very catching. Yeah, very calming too. Shraddhaya Shraddham. Shraddhaya Ashraddham Stara. Very, very beautiful. By daring to trust again, you cross distrust. Crossing distrust is crossing over this third order of subjective reality which has to be crossed over. If it's not crossed over, it will make you very, very cross. That's what it will do. It has to be crossed over by daring to trust again. When you look around the Jagat, who to trust? Oh, this one, no. That one has so many problems. That's why people never get married these days, because their trust is not there. The younger generation has a very hard time getting married. The Indian parents are pulling out their hair in clumps. Find somebody, anybody, anywhere. Now, but they don't want to, because there is no trust. Who to trust? Oh, this one looks like an idiot, and that one that one behaves terribly. And there are new terms. Somebody came and said, oh, this person is no good. I said, why not? he ghosted me. I said, he's alive. No, he ghosted me. Ghosted me means behaved like a ghost, even while alive. I just made I understood what it meant. I made some notes to myself. So, ghosted me means did not show up, did not call, did not message, did not say why the person is not there. No reason was given and was never heard of ever again. Just like you don't expect the ghost to, make an appearance. So like this, he ghosted me, she did this, she dissed me, he ghosted me, like this. The trust is very difficult. The trust that was lost in childhood is extremely difficult to regain. And gone are those days where the horoscopes used to date, in the traditional Indian way, the people never dated. The horoscopes dated in the astrologer's house. And then the match would be made recognizing Ishvara. And then that's how it was. Whether it was for better or for worse, literally, they were there. They had to deal with it. And even that became a cause for self-growth, really. But now that is not there. This is also not there. This is the limbo generation. Very difficult to trust. Who are you going to trust? Everybody will ghost. That's what it is, literally or figuratively. Everybody is into the business of ghosting because everybody is fallible, and whether they want it or not, this is where it will end up. So what to do? Who to trust? Ishvara. You dare to trust Ishvara again. The pain and the sorrows of recognizing the fallibility of the local mother and the father is overcome by daring to discover and trust the father and the mother of the universe. That is what it takes to overcome this and cross over this third order of reality, pratibhasika, the subjective reality. So discovering Bhagavan as the mother, as the father, this is very beautiful in the culture. We have many, many ways of relating to Bhagavan. Mirabai, Saint Mirabai said, "You are my husband." This is what she was told when she was 5. She was a princess and she looked at a wedding procession. Who is my groom? And the mother of Mirabai gave her a Krishna idol, a small one, and said, "This is Lord Krishna, he is your groom." And she took it seriously, became a great devotee, and studied Vedanta as well. Very, very beautiful. And that Krishna, it is believed, that Krishna which Mirabai's mother gave to Mirabai is still there in a small palace in the outskirts of Udaipur in Rajasthan. In the maternal, it's called Ghanerao, Ghanerao, and in the maternal lineage of Mirabai. So the brother, apparently her brother rescued that and then brought it back to the maternal native place and kept it there. I had the wonderful experience of being able to have darshan of this beautiful small Krishna, and they keep it in a small temple in the palace itself. And then I asked if I could take a photograph. They were very happy. They said, yes, please take a photograph. But then I wanted to ask his permission. I just did namaskar, and then I said, I hope I can take a photo. But then a thought came. I said, why don't you please show me what you showed Mirabai? Because I would really, really like to see that. And then I put the camera, and somehow the camera was facing me, so I saw myself. So then I said, okay, you must be really Krishna alone, because no one else can do this kind of a trick. where my own finger must have inadvertently turned the camera. What he showed was the self. It was very beautiful. And so like this, there is an ease in relating. That is why we have what is called Navavidha Bhakti, 9 forms of bhakti, and then there is ease in relating. There is total ease in making Bhagavan, a father, a mother, a husband, a wife, anything. Very, very beautiful. And this way, one trusts the infallible, that can never disappoint, that can never let you down. And then what happens? There are only 2 orders of reality, the empirical and the absolute. More we'll see about that. How those two become one, we'll see in the subsequent classes. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaga Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.